Imagine opening HOI4 just to find out you have to manage power plants, food rations, and National Railway Company just to avoid your industry exploding before 1937. That's the reality of Black Ice. A mod so brutal, even the gods of this community struggle to keep their divisions alive. It makes you wonder, why do we do this to ourselves? So today, we're doing a wellness check on the workshop's most popular mods, and thus, it is time to find out exactly what your favorite mod says about you. Because I believe that we all have the same feelings when we play HOI4. You started out having a great time drawing massive front lines and encircling AI divisions, all while painting the map with your color. It feels amazing. But then, the boredom eventually creeps in. You realize the base game AI is brain dead, and the tech tree feels shallow. So you open the Steam Workshop to find a little more flavor. But that click right there is the point of no return. Because every major mod out there changes the DNA of the game. Some of them turn it into an economic spreadsheet, others turn it into a 1000-page political thriller. And the mod you choose to dedicate hundreds of hours to tells what kind of person you are. So, let's start with the baseline. If Road to 56 is your main mod, then you love the comfort of the base game. You don't want to learn a complex economic system or read a novel. You just have an addiction to clicking buttons. The idea of a focus tree ending in 1945 is completely unacceptable to you. You want every alt history path and every minor nation focus tree. And not only that, you want also every tech upgrade. But I really don't know how you are able to withstand all of this with the late game lag. Because we are barely able to play the game until 1944 or 1945. Then we have Equestria at war. And here, you shouldn't judge the book by its cover. If you tell someone outside the community that you spend your weekends commanding armies of ponies, you are going to get some extremely weird looks. Your social standing will take an immediate hit. But inside the community, the people who know, well, they know. Playing Equestria at war proves that you value high-tier polish and deep mechanical gameplay way more than your own reputation. It is the dark open secret of Hearts of Iron that the My Little Pony mod is one of the best coded, most stable and creatively brilliant mods on the entire workshop. If this is your favorite mod, you are immune to peer pressure. You just want a focus tree that actually works and a late game scenario that doesn't crash your computer. And honestly, out of everyone on this list, you are probably the only one genuinely having fun. And if you have ever had to explain to your friends why you are playing a pony mod, you belong here on the channel. Hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our future deep dives into the weird psychology of HOI4. But now, we need to talk about the absolute hardest mod in the entire workshop, Black Ice. Now, we have touched on Black Ice at the start, but we really need to look at the sheer madness of this specific player base. This mod is for people who actively hate themselves, because it takes a game that is already hostile to beginners and makes it literally impossible. You don't just build a factory here, you have to manage power, food rations, qual, and specialized factories for every single piece of equipment. And whenever someone says, I play Black Ice for the realism, let me be honest, they are lying to you and to themselves. Because realism means occasionally taking a break. And when legendary pro players like Bitter Steel struggle to keep their defensive lines from collapsing in this mod, you have to ask yourself why you are doing this. It is like you want a suffering simulator, and that's what Black Ice really is. But moving on, we arrive at Kaiserreich and its sibling Kaiser Redux. This mod is probably the most mod I have ever talked about in my channel. I actually did a whole video on why Kaiserreich players are built differently. You should definitely watch that later. But to keep things short, you basically here for the plot, because I really haven't seen a mod that writes this much. Well, except for TNO, because I have read your comments on my Kaiserreich video, and most of you thought that I am talking actually about TNO. Well, it is applicable to TNO, and Kaiserreich actually is very similar to TNO in that aspect, because you need to be prepared to read a visual novel if you want to play this mod and understand the different scenarios behind it. So you are probably just escaping from reality into an alternate history, just to explore the what-ifs scenarios. And you are willing to read walls of texts just for that. And finally, we are going to talk about the classic modern-day mod, Millennium Dawn. I actually gave up on Millennium Dawn a long time ago. I opened the economy tab, looked at the national interest rates, debt cycles, and corporate taxes, and then realized I will be needing a PhD in finance to understand the whole system. If you actually understand the economic system in this mod, then congratulations, because you wasted your time with this mod, and you will understand why in a minute. Because I see people defend it endlessly. They say they play it for the modern geopolitics. But here's the main problem with Millennium Dawn. It severely lacks story and engaging events. It doesn't have compelling pre-written scenarios. You just sit there waiting for generic war goals to finish. Now compare that to the Fire Rises. That mod actually writes out exactly how World War III starts. It gives you a narrative purpose to win it, or even to lose it. So why suffer through a lifeless modern-day mod when you could be playing the one that actually has a soul? So if Millennium Dawn is your favorite mod, you probably just enjoy the illusion of control. You prefer feeling like a modern-day politician tweaking tax brackets over actually fighting a global war. At the end of the day, your workshop subscriptions are just a reflection of how you prefer to experience this massive sandbox. Some players want to rewrite the 20th century with endless alt history focus trees. Others want to test their micromanagement skills, and some just want to lead an army of bunnies to victory. The beauty of Hearts of Iron 4 modding community is that it has managed to turn a single game engine into whatever specific experience you happen to be looking for.